those are my favorites.
I know, right? It's so sleek.
Now let everyone know that we're live. So, I may have found the one instance where Joker and Harley's relationship is not toxic.
Oh boy, that's gonna be fun.
The Lego games.
I'm just gonna say, are we sure Joker's not faking it?
If he is, he if he is, he's if he is, he's playing the long game because holy shit. I mean, for one, he actually showed up to rescue Harley from the crime syndicate.
Remember, Joker's the kind of a emotionally manipulative sociopath that would play long games like this.
But you also have to remember this is the Lego universe of DC where they can't do some things like that.
I remember a Lego Batman movie where her Joker seemed more romantically interested in Batman than in Harley.
Yeah, but that's the movie. I'm talking about the video games.
I mean, as far as I know, they're treated like the same continuity, but I will accept being proven wrong.
I know there's separate continuity because of the Lego Batman movies Robin.
Fair enough.
And as you may have guessed, this is where my obsession with Earth 3 has come back. Seriously, I want to know more about that world. I want to know the heroes and villains of that world. All right, so hi everyone. Welcome to the stream. Vegas Bear here, as always, with Mekumon.
Hello.
Today is February 14th. It is Valentine's Day, aka Singles Awareness Day.
Day.
I'm really hoping I didn't put month in the title. Anyway, what better way to celebrate the a day of love and romance by burning it all down.
I was about to say, then with wanton violence.
Mm-hmm. After all,
Which,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if you know the history of this holiday, it's disturbingly fitting.
I was about to say that actually.
Like, for a holiday that had centered around a man who continued to hold marriage ceremonies and marry people in spite of laws against it and ultimately got executed for it, people tend to forget that this holiday is incredibly bloody.
That's why the hearts are always red. It's gotta be the dumbest fucking thing I've ever said. This holiday is incredibly bloody. That's why the hearts are red.
And if you get all down and depressed on this holiday, I can only imagine how perpetually single mainline universe Peter Parker feels.
He just blacks out like
the guy who literally.
Go ahead.
God damn it! I hate how this keeps happening. The guy who literally cannot be allowed to be in a relationship for more than a few hours because the gods forbid it.
I just imagine.
Thank you, Marvel Editorial.
February 13th, 11:59 p.m. Peter is awake, and then he wakes, and then he just shuts down and wakes up February 15th at midnight.
He's got his mask on, but he's in his underwear, and he's hanging upside down from the torch of the Statue of Liberty, and he's wondering, how the hell did I get here?
No, I was just implying he just shuts down every Valentine's Day like a robot.
I like the idea that he blacks out and does really stupid shit.
Alright, so we are...
Warriors are in full control, after all.
We are going back to Fallout. And I think we should do the pit.
You know what? Yeah. Official DLC is gonna be a lot less buggy and a lot less head against brick wall than whatever the heck we just endured.
If that mod actually makes me like the pit, because I like every time I play.
I mean, we haven't started yet. So we could just switch plans to Mothership Zeta.
Well, the plan was do the pit, get that out of the way, and then do Zeta, and then take care of
I suppose the big burning question now is going to be who you're going to side with, because there is a lot of moral nuance in the ending of the Pit DLC.
Well,
yeah, I know. It says the written DLC having moral nuance and actually decent writing. What black magic is this?
well, I will say this: fuck the Raiders.
I mean, yeah, of course, they're literally keeping slave labor. On the other hand, like, knowing what their only hope for a cure is, I'm legitimately worried that siding with the slaves in their revolution will lead to a worse life for the kid. It's a trolley problem here.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, there's no guarantee that the slaves will be any closer to finding the cure than the more scientifically able facility that she's actually in right now. And infamous legend spawned by Amon. Eat the baby.
Well, first of all, I'm not gonna eat the baby. This is
Again,
not.
it's
This is not. I have no mouth and I must scream. I'm not gonna eat the fucking baby.
well, again, that was from a mod and basically became a font of the urban legend.
I am aware, but still. The thing from I have no mouth was also removed because it was too much, obviously. But
Yeah.
I'm not Benny. I'm not gonna eat a baby. One day we are gonna have to play that game.
Yeah.
Hey, Wally.
Buzz off.
Did I tell you your dad died like a bitch?
Run along, kid.
And you're inevitably gonna go the same way, whether it's to me or whatever random Deathclaw breaks down that door.
Hey, dog meat. Fortunately, I can't take you with me. So I am. Oh,
I wish there were more people like. I want you to have. No.
I'm gonna dump a bunch of stuff in my house and take as little as possible.
Things are going well with you today, sir.
Those who've played this DLC know exactly why.
Why do I have 4 combat knives?
So, assuming you are siding with the uprising here, will you be killing the slaver's leader for his power armor?
Probably. Yo, AJ! The only game where you can fit 32,000 fat men, 8,000 assault rifles, and as many axes you want into a locker.
No, I'm pretty sure you could do that in New Vegas too.
Actually, where is my old armored jumpsuit?
Why even go in with that? I said, why even go in with that? Knowing the plan to get you in there, you're just gonna be wearing a slave outfit anyway.
You know what? That's fair. So I'll just leave the I'll just keep the jumpsuit and goggles on.
How may I serve you, master?
In a sense, we are gonna be showing our love for things today. Our love for freedom.
USA! USA! Actually, that's not kosher right now.
To anyone who can hear me, my name is Werner. I come from a settlement to the north. I have information of great value to anyone
Yeah,
willing
more
to
like
help
our
me.
love for liberation. How about that?
Help us. This message repeats. To anyone who can hear me, I come from a settlement to the north. I have
You know what? Probably not any better words.
to anyone willing to
Just-
help me free my
I'm trying to think.
please
Just go.
help us.
1976 USA. USA.
To anyone who can
US.
hear me, my name is Werner. I come from a settlement to the north. I have information.
Was there ever a point in U.S. history where we were actually a good nation?
Maybe. Well, since I'm here at Paradise Falls, I might as well clean out the trash.
Friendly reminder that you're not as durable as you typically would be.
Yep.
But, yeah. I still remember the frustration in your voice when I told you that slavers will periodically respawn here. Not the named ones, but just generics. Every few days, some more generic slavers will come back.
Are you sure?
Or they should. They should. I remember reading that somewhere. Seeing that actually demonstrated. It might be in the buildings. Or one of the mods you have might actually prevent it. I don't know. Either way, it's... There's a graveyard in here. Bless you.
Thank you.
Well, if nothing's respawned here, then less work for you.
That also means Big Town is safe.
Fair enough. I can admit when I'm wrong.
Honestly, I'm disappointed because I wanted to shoot raiders. Although, or slavers rather. But either way, that's going to happen today.
Now, it is advised to go in with as little of your gear as possible, but to be fair, there is a way to earn your gear back, and it's basically along the main quest anyway. So, unlike escaping that God's Forsaken Enclave bunker, it's hard to miss! Though I do not look forward to hunting down steel ingots in that place.
Oh, yeah.
I've played this game for approximately 10 years now, and I still haven't found them all. Even with a guide. That's probably the skill issue on my part, but they hide those things pretty damn well.
I know there's a bunch on top of a tower.
And sometimes you'll just fall through things with no collision, that have no indication they have no, and thus die by falling literally out of the game world. That's happened to me twice. This isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
Here's a location
know, I have a suggestion for you.
Yes.
You don't gotta listen, but hear me out. When you do find the location where the beacon is coming from and do all the talking and whatnot and have it all marked on your map, you might want to fast travel back to Megaton and talk to Moira about repairing your gun.
Yeah. Oh my god!
Another Rat Scorpion?
Worse.
A sentry part? Are you kidding me?
Worse!
Deathclaw!
And the game crashed.
Well, now we can preemptively repair the gun.
Oh my god, that I rolled nat ones consistently.
You know that, or the DM was rolling nat 20s repeatedly.
No, for there to be a sentry bot, a rad scorpion, and a death claw. Oh, fucking hell.
It's kind of funny, but like, whoa.
It is funny. But still, fuck! Yeah, we're gonna go back to Megaton.
While we're doing this, I will share a brief bit of Gundam trivia just to kind of fill the air.
Huh. Did you know?
In Gundam's Cosmic Era, there are only a very small handful of machines that make it through all three major entries. You know, I say major entries, so unfortunately I have to Stargazer. And also get Stray manga.
I
Don't
think
believe
I'm...
me, Stargazer and
Sorry, go ahead.
don't believe me. Stargazer and Astray are definitely better than the main entries.
They are.
You were about to say.
I think instead of the Volt suit, I'm gonna take a piece of armor that I can afford to lose.
Yeah, that would be wise. Like some combat armor or something. So, the one specific machine I wanted to discuss amongst this handful of machines that made it through all three major entries, Seed, Destiny, and Freedom, is the Strike Rouge Gundam. Which abridged version of its history leading to its creation. After the original Strike Gundam got destroyed in a battle with the Aegis, and the Aegis self-destructed, the Orb Nation, basically, I can't believe it's not Japan. It is totally Japan's self-insert OC in the Cosmic Era. They recovered the remains of the Strike Gundam, and when they rebuilt the thing, they studied how it worked. Keep in mind, the Orb is made up of multiple ruling families and, you know, has a council of sorts. So another part of Orb was responsible for dealing with the Earth Alliance to make these Gundams in the first place. Orb basically had to reverse engineer their own technology in order to repair the Strike Gundam. But then they decided, let's take these spare parts and this new updated operating system we have to move it, And let's build a second unit for our current leader. One, Kigali Atha. Adoptive daughter and heir apparent for the Orb unit. Bless you.
Thank you.
It took a while for the Strike Rouge to be ready. It really only pops up in like the last 5 or so episodes at best. But it does make it through the end of Gundam Seed proper. It continues to be maintained and kept in storage until it's needed for Seed Destiny, where it's equipped with a new Striker Pack, the Utori Pack, which was supposed to be the pinnacle of Orb's Striker Pack engineering at the time. For a neutral, semi-pacifistic nation, they are very good at developing weapons.
Who knew?
Because, like... Surprised you're not doing a horror dating sim today, given the day.
Nah.
Nah.
I originally planned to do that with my ex, but that obviously didn't happen.
Anyways. Like, here's the thing with Orb. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, to be clear, I'm not like pissed at my ex or anything. We're still friends. It's just the way things work. The way things worked out.
Is that they were not both available for the same day at the same time. That's all.
Well, that and we broke up before that could ever happen. So. But I'm not mad about that breakup. Fuck it, I'm taking Tesla armor.
I mean, you can afford to lose that. I know you have other, suits of that back home.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, it's power armor. It's durability. It's alright, AJ. You didn't know.
No, you're fine, man. You're fine.
Anyways.
It's not a sore subject.
So, let me put it this way. What's the closest UC equivalent I could put here? You know how Side 6 declared itself neutral and ended up being the site for the development of the Gundam Alex?
Mm-hmm.
Take that, add the Anaheim Electronics mentality of developing weapons for both sides, while trying to maintain the illusion of neutrality. And you have Orb.
Oh, lovely.
And Orb are portrayed as the good guys. Largely because they're not a bunch of racist bigots.
Small blessings, I guess.
In a conflict that's entirely motivated by racism on the side, yeah. So, you know how I've mentioned before that at the beginning of Gundam Seed there are Heliopolis Colony, which is a part of the Orb Nation?
Mm-hmm.
That was just the 5 we got to see on screen. You wanna know how many were actually there?
How many?
10.
Damn.
The 5 we got to see in Gundam Seed proper, and 5 Astray units. Now, the phase shift armor technology, that was purely an Earth Alliance invention, so Orb didn't really have the means of implementing these into their own mobile suits. These were put into the GAT series machines by the Earth Alliance. This is why the Orb Union had to reverse engineer the Strike Gundam when they got a hold of it. What the other 5 units were doing, well, the thing with the Astray units was that they were testing out different armor materials for each one, and they were color-coded to this effect. Different armor types, different operating systems, different general roles. Ladies and gentlemen, the real RX-78 equivalent in this universe. I've joked that it was really the Dual Gundam, but honestly, in terms of the development role it was intended to have, you actually want these traits. You have the red frame, which was largely the, understandably the aggressive type, the one that's meant for frontline combat. Its operating system was designed to study enemy mobile students, strategize on the fly. A weaker version of the Zero system and the learning computer from First Gundam. Well, weaker in quotations, because this one had the early signs of, and the AI developing a degree of a sentience and a personality.
Oh, great.
The AI was contained in a briefcase. It was named Hachi, or 8. It could be plugged into any mobile suit you happen to utilize. So the pilot tended to just keep the briefcase on him.
Smart.
Its pilot was what I can only call the Cosmic Era equivalent Low Duel of the Junk Guild. And I mean that in terms of, he had a very Judo-esque personality and attitude, very jovial, well-adjusted compared to some other individuals in this universe. So, the hilarity is, because of the nature of how mobile suits work at the time, he damn near refused to utilize the beam sabers when he had opportunities, even when it would save his life, because he dreads the cost of having to recharge them.
You know what? That's actually,
It's funny.
it's funny and it's real.
Because, keep in mind, the Junk Guild, they're not aligned with any of the militaries
You killed us
in
all without
Gundam
your
Seed
help.
in the Cosmic Era.
You may as well take this map. That's where we were headed.
Everything they do, they have to make money off of. And if they have to use certain weapons that are costly to recharge, they're losing money. This is why the red frame eventually gets a katana. Excuse me. Go figure, right? You think, oh, they just happen to be edgy. No, it has a practical purpose. I mean, yeah, it's here to look cool, but it's also here because if the red frame is using the katana, which is anti-beam coded, so, you can use that defensively and offensively. If you're using the katana, you're not using the beam sabers, which means you don't have to recharge the beam sabers, which means you're saving money.
Yep.
It's also why the beam rifle wasn't used all that frequently.
And for
So, in the
a
case of
group
the
that
beam
does not
rifle-
have military backing,
Yeah.
that is a saving grace.
prices-
Though, at least in the case of the beam rifle, it takes its charge directly from the mobile suit's battery, so if you can recharge the mobile suit, you're basically recharging the gun. The beam sabers have their own individual batteries, which is why they have to be charged. There's a blue frame unit, which uses a slightly different armor material. The operating system is slightly different. And this one seems to have a predilection for heavy armor. Like, the various modifications it goes through, the armor just gets thicker and thicker, stronger and stronger. Like, there's a point where they actually incorporate limited amounts of phase shift armor. Like, picture this. You got Red Machine's normal armor type on the outside, and then there's a layer of variable phase shift armor on the inside surrounding the cockpit that only activates if the outer armor is breached.
Not to sound like an asshole, but wasn't it supposed to be a short tangent?
Sorry, I got sidetracked repeatedly. The striker was right.
Again, not
Yeah,
to sound like an
basically-
asshole. I just remembered, wait, you said this was going to be short.
Yeah, it was going to be, and then I got sidetracked. That happens a lot. And you're good. Thank you for reminding me that this was intended to be more abridged. Strike Rouge, despite the damage it took in Seed Destiny, it was intact enough to be repaired, so they did eventually reassemble it, though it didn't see any action for the remainder of the show. It would then reappear in Seed Freedom, where it largely stayed out of action and was used as a command unit playing, communications across the battlefield. So, yeah, all three major entries here, the Strike Rouge survived. Though it got very, very close to Destiny. How close? The Strike Rouge only had one arm and no legs by the time Kira was done with it. He says, can I borrow your Gundam so I can go get my new one? Yeah, sure, just bring it back in one piece. 5 minutes later. What did I just tell you? To attempts to close the discussion of the Estrays as quickly as I can. They were basically a Sentai team of mobile suits.
Yep.
Intended to work as a unit, but broken up. Red was aggressive, blue used heavy armor, green was a defensive unit. I'm not sure what Gold's original intent was, as it wasn't finished, and it would eventually be modified with parts from another Gundam. Effectively turning it peculiarly into a stealth unit. The one with the shiny gold inner frame gets to be a stealth unit. And then lastly, there's the Mirage frame, otherwise the purple frame, which I have no idea what it does. the Strays are an interesting little case of like development webs. And you want to know why I brought up the Strays in the first place in relation to Orb?
Why?
Their mass-produced units are based on the Astray.
Interesting.
We have the M1 Astrays that come in ground-type flavors and space-type flavors, which red and blue, respectively. The Murasame, or Murasame, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, because, like, depending on the way the name's spelling is done in Japanese, it could be either. It basically is like the Zeta Force, where it's an intended mass-produced transformable mobile suit.
Okay.
Once again, derived from the Strays. And then, hilariously enough, things come full circle as the Murasame's whole development plan with the transformation mechanism and everything is used to develop the Rising Freedom and Immortality. Always comes back to freedom, doesn't it?
Yep. It's like Omazeo. All roads lead to Omazeo.
But, yeah. Orb is also responsible for the development of the Eclipse Gundam, which I've gone on record with before. Short version, that thing was basically a Black Ops Gundam.
Those guys. They finally tracked me down. I thought I'd have more time. You've come
So
up with the
secret
broadcast,
that
right?
even the rest of Orb wasn't supposed to know that it
It
exists.
had to be done. So you know who I am. Who are you?
Because the family and organization that operated it were fully abundantly aware that if the existence of the
Well, now,
Eclipse were
a
to be
hero.
released to the rest of the world,
I come from a place far
then
in
the
northwest.
Earth Alliance and Zapt alike would have
Called the
every
Pit.
reason to invade.
It's, well, let's be honest. The place is a nightmare. Radiation, mutation, disease.
Especially if they knew about Unit 2.
My people, some of the only survivors, are slaves. No big deal, you thinking?
Like the Freedom Gundam, the second
Have a
unit
chance
for
for
the
freedom.
Eclipse series
All I
was
need is
equipped with a
an
neutron
outsider
jammer
to have chances.
killer and a nuclear engine. Effectively making it a war crime.
Yeah. That's why
As
these
by the
guys
time it
are
was, developed,
and you can be damn
the
sure
Julius
you'll be
Treaty was in
welcome.
place banning these kind of mobile suits.
The pit's a mess. Nearly everyone who lives there is either sick,
Which, again,
dying, or
if the rest of the Earth sphere knew about the existence of this
Any
unit, they'd have
escape.
every reason to
stay there a few
invade
years, and no
the
matter
Orb
what,
Union.
they'll get you. But the bastards who have my people, they found a way to cure it. And once they have that cure perfected, we don't stand a chance. So we need the... Well, you might try a disguise. They probably won't let some random armed waster pass. But if you look like one of the working stiffs, you should be able... Lucky for us, a group of slavers is nearby waiting to make a sale. You should be able to get one off. They're off to the west, near the tunnel that leads to the pit.
That more or less ends by
Whatever, just get the outfit off of one of them while you're playing.
failed brief tangent here. I wish I could make them more brief, but that would require, having the awareness to actually cut my tangents, shorter. It's like when talking with, say, you about Ultraman or Kamen Rider, I know you don't mean to run long, and I know, I never get angry when you do, but, you know how easy it is to get just so lost in what
Yeah.
you don't realize you've been chatting for like half an hour straight.
Yep. I know that feeling all too well.
That's basically me whenever I talk about any of my nerd shit. Transformers, Power Rangers, Gundam, Bionicle, Animorphs. this next one actually brief, and I am being consciously aware of this, choosing my words carefully. More information dropped on the upcoming RID Universe Skybite figure for Age of the Primes. The shark mode is more articulated than we thought.
Oh?
The head can move up and down, and the tail can move in every direction,
Nice.
making him incredibly expressive in beast mode. Which, considering the character, that's a godsend. That is damn near perfect. Choosing words carefully, keeping this brief. In the cartoon, he was most frequently seen in beast mode, and he was a very, very expressive fish. Being basically a comedy character in a comedy series, he had to be. Like, I'd like to see more Transformers shows of that kind of tone in the future. Just adventure comedies. It'd be a nice change of pace from, you know... It's nice to have a Beast Wars and a Prime, and then move on to, like, an RD 2001. We don't always have to go from, like... I mean, not to say that Beast Wars was completely serious the entire way through. They had their goofy moments.
Mm-hmm.
But a show that took itself relatively seriously going into Beast Machines was a bad call.
Fuck off.
Okay. Deliberately ignoring the Beast Machines tangent.
There you are.
I love how that
That
guy...
was all I wanted to...
Sorry, I love how that guy realized I was the asshole that shot up Paradise Falls while I'm wearing it.
You got that goody goods snake all over you. Or hell, maybe he just recognized your gun.
Which is funny because I didn't have that gun when I raided Paradise Falls.
Hell, maybe it was the Pit Boy.
Oh yeah. It probably was the Pit Boy.
Because, like, people know Vault Dwellers are generally a little too soft. But you're gonna know when a Vault Dweller with a Pit Boy walks right into the Sliver HQ and went, "Oh my wa mo shinderu." Nani?
I swear, this guy just walked right into Paradise Falls and just said, "Alright, maximum effort." And then everyone died, man! Everyone fucking died!
Then who lived long enough to tell the story? Who said I was alive, man? Just fades away all ghostly. We know ghosts exist in Fallout. That is a...
Oh my god. You killed them. Are you real? Wait. We're free? You're serious? You killed them and we're just free to go?
Yep.
You're either the kindest person in the world or the dumbest.
Yep.
Either way, thank you. I can help you. It's the lead. What is it that
I need your clothes. Give them to me now.
My clothes? Off my back? Well, I guess. You did help us. I'm sure I'll make do out there in the wastes. Don't worry about me. I'll find something, I'm sure.
I feel like that was like some kind of stealth reference to the Terminator movies.
It definitely was. And also, he's like, but the clothes off my back? Well, I guess I'll make do. Sir, you got a new shirt and some underpants.
I like to think you just pulled them out of your like backpack and went here. Honestly, you're better clothes than you were.
All right, you got a disguise. Good, good. We're ready. I'll meet you up by the tunnel that leads to the pit. You go get whatever you'll need. I followed you. I've gotten very good at staying out of sight when I don't want to be seen. Whatever you say, hero. Just don't take...
I love it just because of like one speech, like one dialogue choice. Warner keeps calling me hero.
Jump on the cart. I'm right behind you.
And we all know he means it mockingly.
Yeah. But by the time I'm done, he's gonna mean it. Or else.
Hang on, someone's coming. Let me do the talking.
So, fun fact about the sequence we're about to go through. It is possible to just go guns blazing, shooting your way through and getting the slavers' attention. But by the time you pass through a specific door, you will lose all control of your character, get pummeled into blacking out, and all your loot will be taken from you. Will have been taken from you. So, no matter how you go in, you're gonna lose everything. Also, I think they kind of realized that you know, weren't a slave because you didn't swap out the armor that you got.
I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to do that, like, after this.
We've got to keep moving.
It's been a while since I played this DLC, so I don't remember.
We've got to keep moving. There's no time.
So, one more thing on the note of Transformers, and it's just a thought that only just occurred to me. Given what they did with Star Convoy for the first wave of Age of the Primes, I'm beginning to realize if they're willing to make what is effectively Commander Class Plus in the Titan scale price point, then that opens the door to some possibilities. Imagine them doing, like, what would otherwise have been a Commander scale Gigatron,
Like
robot in disguise Megatron.
Once you're inside,
In the same way they did Star
goal is to get access to
where it's sold as a Titan, but it's really just a Commander class with extra engineering.
Be able to get a small gun or a knife past them if it can. I can do that for you, but I can't promise that they won't see it and just. You want the gun? Okay, here you go. Don't take it out until you get past the gate.
Would be an interesting twist.
That's it.
It would be.
Good luck.
But also enable the possibility of a post-exclusive recolor, so we could get the Galvatron colors. Or potentially alternate head sculpts to get Death's Door. Or another possibility.
Welcome to the pit.
Well, even the air itself wants to kill you.
I would say Pittsburgh has gone downhill, but I'd be lying.
Honestly, this is almost an improvement considering the car basically perma-parked. It's almost like nothing changed. Almost nothing. The landmines are new.
Gunfire's not new. That joke was darker
Yeah,
than anything.
dogs too. Haphazardly, he littered radiation barrels. Nah, that's not new. Just watch. In the Gaim universe, you say America got nuked. Literally, the only place that went untouched was Pittsburgh because it already looked like it to begin with.
Oh, yeah, So, you don't know the shit that happens in Gaim.
I love it. Another slave wanted.
All I know is that in spite of the weird, quirky Lockford shit, I'm a very dark show.
Why I should.
Yeah, so
Wait.
when
What the-
the supposed
Look at this.
final boss
We could
shows
get all
up,
this shit anyway. Whatever. Mine now.
he
Thanks,
shows
Dad.
up in Zawame
I
City,
jackpot today.
which is the city the show
Get
takes
back
place
in
in.
there and get to work. Or next time
And,
I'll stake you out there for the trial.
America decides to nuke Japan because of the increasing infestation of a living forest called Helheim. Which
Well, that's one reaction.
Helheim is it creeps through dimensions.
The mean boss took all the.
So it could literally show up in any universe anytime. Great.
Now, like the forest is sentient, so it kind of chooses.
Get out of my face, asshole.
But so, regardless, it decided to make itself known on Earth in the world of Gaim. Now, the residents of the previous universe that the forest visited are still there. Most of them have just gone mad.
I was legit dreading you saying they became the mooks.
They did.
How did I know it was low in there?
They ate the fruit of Helheim and it turned them into monsters. A handful of them kept their faculties. One of them being the king. And when Helheim started to infest Zawame City in earnest, the U.S. decided, all right, we're going to nuke this city. And as the nukes were closing in, the king appeared in Japan for the first time, I think. Just waved his hand. Keep in mind, this guy ate from, like... He ate this fruit that gave... basically like a Adam and Eve kind of situation, except the fruit gives you godlike powers.
Fair enough,
So he just...
I think.
he just moves his hand, like he just puts his hand up, stops the nukes, then waves his hand, and the nukes disappear. And then we hear a broadcast saying that America has been nuked.
Yeah, that's one way to make an entrance. Jeez.
Of course, there's also I almost said DLC. There's a movie that takes place afterwards where one of the characters goes to New York City, and they just seem to retcon the idea that America had been nuked.
Werner sent you, didn't he? Good. He finally
We got
found
better.
someone. We can't talk out in...
He sent me to take his place.
Unless the twist is that this is an America from a different universe.
I want to say they implied like they've been trying to rebuild, because we don't actually get a lot of shots of
All right, we can talk now,
the
but we
city,
shouldn't take too
because
long.
you know they didn't
They saw
actually
you
film
come in
the
here,
city. But
so they'll come looking for you if you take too long. I have.
I
a
suppose
plan
it also
to get
depends on
you into
where
Atlas
in
Place,
America the
but you
nukes were
need to
dropped.
wait. In the meantime, you're going to have to blend in. I don't know what you
Also,
saw
I will
on the way
maintain,
in,
America
but the
in a
guards
Toku
don't really
show,
take
no big
kindly to
loss.
workers just standing around. You're going to need
Again,
to look busy, or they'll sniff you
America
out
may be a
pretty
trash
quickly.
fire, but
I
we live
reiterate-
here.
Too close. You don't look like you belong here.
Not inside of a Toku show, we don't.
Outside of the mill, there are
See,
a
I
bunch
had
of
to
old
amend
steel
my
units
statement
just
because you
lying
are
around.
correct.
Every so often, the foreman puts out a work order to... It's practically a death sentence, and they never assign it to anyone. They make us pick who's going to do it. Best.
We do live here. For however long it
God's
takes till
name
the
is a
apocalypse
super
gets here.
mutant. You know what? Never mind. Whatever they are, you're wrong. What it is full of are... They're what most of us hope we never become. The contamination gets to everyone to some degree. For most people, it's some form of cancer. Sometimes harmless, sometimes not. For others, the contamination drives them insane. If it doesn't kill them, it changes them. They become animals, deformed and inhuman.
Oh
It's
yeah,
not
I almost
pretty.
forgot.
They're everywhere and they kill on sight.
So when I told you last night about all the Star Seekers that were present at the...
You might even be able
Local
to find
Walmart.
a gun on one of the dead bosses out in this.
I did leave one little detail out.
Who is this scam?
Nothing.
I picked up
Nothing,
Lockdown.
sir. I was just telling this new worker about the job the foreman posted.
It was either going to be him or Cannonball.
So he's the one that's going out to the steel yard, huh?
Yes, sir. I told him what he needs to do. He knows. 10 ingots, as fast as he can.
I decided on Lockdown because even though he's designed to look like the Hunt for the Decepticons Bayverse universe Lockdown,
The work grinders.
he will forever be the guy from Animated in my mind.
Move on.
This is just what he looks like when he enters a more G1-ified universe.
Camp? Yeah, what do you want? He's over in the mill. I think the food is slightly less... Good move. Eyes down.
Jesus.
One figure I was hoping to spot and currently have not yet found,
Get out of
Armada Universe Galvatron.
I haven't seen him in Walmart, and I haven't been to Target in ages, so...
So, like, there's a lot of stuff on the list of what I would like to pick up if I only could. There's the Armada Universe Galvatron, that Power Link Starscream recolor that I would have to order out of Japan. Get a good look. You'll be fighting in there.
Trying to find
Won't be long.
Marco.
Oh, right, the
Not
delay.
so loud. The bosses can't see
Polo.
what we're up to over here. Making weapons. Lots of them. There's some... So, I take the crap we find out in the yard and some of the tools we use, and I make them into stuff we can fight the boss. Yeah. You're the one Medea told me about. Werner sent you, right?
Anyway,
Take this. It's called an auto axe. Nice, huh? I
some
made
older
it out of
figures that I'd like to get a hold of,
Do what you-
and I put older in quotations here. Still looking for Kingdom Dinobot.
So you're the lucky scab gathering ingots for me.
And now part of me wants to track
Yeah,
down
you do.
Earthrise Blue Streak
Think
thanks
no
to the
union.
Skybound comics.
God, my local toy store had a Blue Streak figure.
Do your duty.
I don't know if it's still there.
Actually, don't even tell me.
If it is still there, I will pay you for it. When next we get to meet up in person.
See that fella up there? You'll be seeing
Or
lots.
alternatively in a figure trade if you prefer that way.
Probably run into those crazies that live up in the blast furnace. Tell you what,
Because, like,
do me a
at this point,
and
my only other option to get the character is to see if I can track down the Target exclusive Silver Streak version of the figure, where it's him in blue.
Turn them into me and I'll see if I can slip a little something.
Yes, the blue one's named Silver Streak and the Streak.
That might actually be the one that
Throw it.
that the toy store had.
Like, I will accept either, because it's still the same character, different paint job, name. It was literally how Hasbro got past the trademark for his name in the, like, earliest aughts.
Billy. It's me. Your
Though,
brother John.
any rumors of a G1 blue streak are greatly exaggerated. Why do people insist there was a blue streak beyond the name association?
My poor brother.
Well, there was a Diaclone version of the figure in that color scheme.
Poor brother.
I would just like to add.
Your
that-
weapon literally disappeared.
Yeah, I think like I saved that guy from his brother, and then the weapon disappeared.
And now you're slaughtering trogs with the power of magic. Eh. Beats me why you didn't just imagine a fat man or something, but hey. Lord knows, if I could manifest weapons from my imagination, I'd create like a freaking fat man Gatling gun.
Note to self: be very wary if Meicoomon ever gets a power ring.
I have more restraint than that. The only reason I'd ever create something like that is if I was literally in a video game where I'm not actually hurting anything. But yes, be very wary of me if I ever get a power ring, because evidently I can be quite creative.
Yep.
God, I'm not even sure what power ring I ended up getting. I don't think I fit any of the criteria for the cores.
Billy.
I'm sure you'd fit one of them at least.
Maybe Hope. Maybe.
Maybe willpower, considering half the crap you've had to endure.
Oh, believe me, you have no idea how many times I wanted to just quit and give up.
But you didn't.
Fair, but I don't think my willpower is quite strong enough for a green. That was a weird YouTube glitch. Now, where the hell was I? Lost my train of thought there.
Imagination.
Oh, yeah. Do you think Lantern Ring could make a functional power morpher?
Maybe? I mean, it'd still just be a construct.
See, this is what I mean. Functional, as in, even if it's a construct, if I were to make, like, a Season 1 Power Morpher with a T-Rex coin, would it change me into a green version of the red?
Maybe?
Maybe if I, like, specifically designed the construct to do that. I also know it's possible to, like, temporarily grant other people, like, Power Ring-esque powers with these things. It's happened in the comics before. What do they call it? Like, basically, like, temporarily nominating a person as, like, a lantern for a brief period of time.
I don't remember.
Because I remember something like that happening in Blackest Night.
Oh.
Where a bunch of characters...
Continue.
Where a bunch of characters got basically nominated, promoted, and gained a bunch of different Power Ring powers in different colors in order to combat the Black Lanterns. The one I remember most is that Lex Luthor got an orange ring.
Oh, yeah.
So, what I'm getting at is, if a Power Ring could do that, then maybe it could recreate, like, Sentai powers and the like.
Well, I mean, if Hal Jordan can create an F-15 Raptor,
then I could create a Megazord.
Yep.
if nothing else, I know that while it is against the rules of the Lantern Corps, given enough power, a Power Ranger could recreate an entire city.
I'm just reminded of old Loki from Loki season 1 when he recreated Yggdrasil, not Yggdrasil, fucking Asgard, and just yelled, "Glorious purpose!"
I'm gonna melt you in my fucking wall. You like that? I'll tear your heart.
Oh great, there are individuals with actual guns in here.
Yep, the wild men. Forgot about these fuckers.
And hey, look at that, better armor. At least they let you keep what you take in here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all I can say is, if you're gonna recruit a Lancer, beware the ones that were raised on Looney Tunes in various anime. On the note of anime, here's a Toku fact that I believe I've mentioned multiple times before, but bears repeating. Power Rangers Black Cross Army and Kamen Rider's Shocker are both backers of Cyborg 009's Black Nose organization. They all exist in the same universe. Confirmed. Which means, depending on what other universes are connected to this batch, it is theoretically possible that the cyborgs could have become Sentai. Or Kamen Riders.
There is actually a Cyborg 009 rider belt. It's a concept design, so I don't think it's actually going to be used for anything. But it was done for like one of the anniversaries.
And pending if one considers this to be part of the main timeline, I'm also going to lump in Devilman here.
Devilman would be a different universe.
Fair enough.
Because one, it was made by a different author. Two,
So, yeah.
while it did have a crossover with 009, this was done long after Ishinomori passed away. Also, Devilman kind of the way Devilman ends, it wouldn't really fit in with these other universes.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
Kind of hard to come back from complete and total annihilation.
Yeah. Speaking from experience, that is not an easy feat.
For a minute, I was about to say, what do you mean by that? And then I remembered. Devilman was a weird anime. Yes, it fucking was!
there for speaking from experience, Vince.
Yeah, you got me. So, AJ, it also depends on which version you're talking about. Are you talking about the 70s version? Are you talking about Crybaby? Are you talking about the OVAs? Are you talking about Devil Lady? Because that's a whole different can of worms. Old and new are weird as fuck, yeah. So the old one, realized, hey, this isn't all that family friendly, and it's airing in a time slot where kids might watch it. So we're gonna change a few things. Devilman's still going to be the hero, obviously, but we're not going to have, witch hunts and humanity tearing itself apart.
On the note of the way some of these things ended, though, I gotta say, the more you think about the way Cyborg 009 ends, specifically the Cyborg Soldier, Cyborg 009 anime from the early 2000s, because that is basically the most manga accurate anime we've got, and is largely the driving force for what eventually completes the manga. The more you think about the way it ends, the more grim it gets. Specifically in regards to the fates of 002 and 9.
Also, the new anime Devilman Crybaby, also weird as fuck, but it's also faithful to the manga. Whether that is for good or bad, I will leave that up to you. Cause fuck.
To get this thought out of my system there, Joe was gonna die one way or the other. He's falling from orbit. He's going to burn up one way or the other. Reinforced skin or no. Which is why it would definitely have helped if he actually did have all the other Cyborg's powers like he was originally stated to at the beginning of it. Because I can think of at least one way 007 shifting. But I digress. But then you realize Jet over here, 002, he flew up to meet Joe, knowing he didn't have enough fuel to get them both safely back down. Which then puts the entire purpose of why he flew up there in a new light. He went up there just so Joe didn't have to die alone.
Fuck. That's powerful, man.
Like, don't get me wrong, all throughout both manga and anime, Jet has been kind of an asshole, but he's the kind of guy who's, rough exterior, beaten heart of gold. Not exactly a smart individual, definitely dumb of ass. But, like, the man values his friends and family, and the rest of the cyborgs basically are his family.
So one thing I do want to bring up is that in later additions to Cyborg 009, that whole thing, for better or worse, was retconned.
On the one hand, I'm thankful that they survived. On the other hand, again, given what I just discussed, that is a powerful way to go out.
Mm-hmm.
So, how did this retcon go?
They managed to survive re-entry. They don't go into too much detail. Just that Jet had miscalculated how much fuel he had.
I remember there being, like, a movie that was supposed to be, like, a potential future where Jet pulls the same stuff again, having to orbit, this time solo, and he uses a bunch of space debris in orbit, satellites, and whatever have you, to slow his descent enough that his rockets could take the rest.
That might have been in, like, the new one. Because, like, Cyborg 009's lore can be confusing. Because it's one of those... It's like the Halloween movies in the sense that everything can be canon or its own separate universe.
Which, that's not headache-inducing in the slightest.
So, I'm gonna try and find my way out of here first before I get into this.
Oh, by the way, before you get into that, and while I have a moment to say, I'm just going to put this out there. Cyborg 009 may be the one instance I've seen where a floating timeline of the modern day is actually a hindrance. Several of the characters' backstories kind of require being product of their time.
Yeah.
Particularly 4 and 9.
Ooh, I know where I am now.
Because, like, in the case of 004, Albert was... So the whole point of why he was selected was that he was critically injured trying to cross the East-West Germany border. Which, you know, that could only happen at a certain point in time. His wife, she didn't make it. And it was trying to get her across that line in the first place that was what got them shot.
I'll take those ingots, Scab. You just get back. You got a real knack for this. Here, this might help you work a little harder. Original owner can't use it anymore on account of decapitation. More metal for the mill. Guess nothing like some hip. Not right now. Bring in a few more.
And then there's Joe's backstory, where at the time, like, his backstory definitely benefits from being, you know, of his time, because at the relative time Cyborg 009 was created, there was kind of a thing about how Japan and being only half Japanese. It implied that Joe's father was an American soldier. And ending up growing up without his parents, his mother dying at a point early in his life, and by 001's own admission, a father whose nationality has yet to be discovered, implying that nobody, not Joe, not anybody else with any access to his records, really knows for sure.
Which... like, I know they said that it's not canon, but if we factor in the ending of... If we factor in the ending of, the Skullman...
You're new, aren't you? Are you here from the Erie...
It would make sense considering
Ronto,
who Joe's father
where's home?
is at the ending of that show.
Since you won't be able to help me,
But again,
I'll let you in on a
the-
little secret.
the creators of the show said that it wasn't really canon.
I find out what's going on and let the bosses know.
So, the point I'm getting at here is that a lot of the cyborg
If you hear anything, you
versions
should let...
in the original manga, they're tied into the aftermath of World War II.
So, a lot of them can be like, if you, because I think the anime, like the 2000 anime mentioned this, but they would freeze the cyborgs. Black Skull.
Yeah, kept them in relative suspended animation.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen Wild Bill around? Oh, that's wonderful. As long as I know he's okay, then that's all that matters. Thank you. Here, take the...
Yeah, to really put this into perspective, like, a lot of what made Cyborg 009 what it was at the time, both in its earliest anime depictions and in the original manga, is the people working on it lived through the Second World War, lived through the aftermath, and a lot of what they were writing down was stuff they were seeing daily, or had experienced at some point.
Good. Just in time. Asher has ordered everyone into the square. Rumor has it that he's going to open up the arena. It's simple, really. From time to time, Asher
It's
opens
why
up the
the
arena.
series
Any slave who
was
wants to
such
can
a
fight against
powerful
the
anti-war
Warlords.
message and remains
If you win,
such.
you get your freedom. More importantly, you get an audience with Asher. It's the only way a slave will
To a
ever get
degree,
talk
the
to you
original
directly.
Gundam also
You
has
fight, you
some of
win,
this
and
there.
when you talk to Asher, you take the
But-
cure.
Give it, like, honestly, different aspects for different works here. Also, there was that one weird Cyborg 009 movie where they traveled to an alien planet.
I don't remember that.
From what I recall, it didn't do overly well. Didn't even involve the full team as much as it could have. one thing I will say though is I'm thankful they didn't do anything overly fan servicey with 003 besides like one instance in the 2000s show.
Yeah, and they're surprisingly tame with 003.
And you want to know the reason why that is?
Why?
This is either going to be weird or wholesome, depending on how you look at it. Ishinomori based the character of 003 off of his old
No.
sister.
Luna
Off his
has
what?
a distraction planned.
Older
They haven't been
sister.
making these weapons for nothing, you know. But when you're meeting with Asher, you'll be close enough to grab
That's
the cube.
why she's
Get it, and
basically
bring it to
not
me.
subjected to any of
Let's
the
get
fan
out there
service.
and listen to Asher's speech. They'll be
That
hell to
explains
pay
a
if the
lot.
guys catch us in the act.
Especially because, if memory serves, his sister was a huge inspiration for Ishinomori.
Uh-huh. She was largely the factor that continued to encourage his artistic endeavors and keep him going.
I bring you good news.
Her
We
passing was
stand
tragic,
at the dawn of a new
unfortunately,
golden
but
age, where others merely survive.
I dare say that
We thrive.
003 is
And
a
while I have led your efforts,
is a
it has
loving
been by
tribute
your own
that,
strength that you have earned
you
all
know,
the
as a
envy of
character
the
is-
world. And most of all,
he gets across what it
they
needs to.
envy our victories in the struggle
003
for
does
freedom.
carry that big sister
Because
energy.
yes, freedom is what we all work towards. To celebrate this struggle,
I know that,
I ask my loyal workers. Who
It's not.
among
I
you
don't
is
think it was as
prepared
obvious
to
in the
fight for
anime
your
as it was in the
freedom?
manga, but I do know 003 and 009 are romantically involved.
This man here will fight in the hole. Come on, Asher. Will you send
Thankfully,
someone?
009 was not a
Only the
self-insert.
dream that
Thankfully.
workers can become
Before
free,
anyone
but
ever
that we
makes
may
that
all
accusation.
someday
The rest
become
of you
truly free from the threats of our world.
She sets up the fights.
Some things are going pretty well.
Don't let us down.
But yeah,
In
in
fact, like,
the original manga, I believe
This is gonna be some good shit, I tell
it
you.
is highly implied that the two of them even had sex.
it's possible. I wouldn't know.
When I say highly implied, I mean it's like really implied. It doesn't show anything, but it shows two of them. I think like one or both of them getting undressed.
So you're the dumbass scab that signed up to fight in the...
But again,
Well,
it doesn't
head on
show
down.
anything. It's
Phaedra's waiting for you.
it shows them undressing and then it cuts away.
Ah, yes, those are the dragon style fade to black.
And their relationship is played
And what are
upon
you doing down here,
a
Slade?
lot.
Don't tell me your pale ass is gonna throw down.
Like even in the anime where the relationship wasn't as necessarily defined as it was in the manga, 003 is still extremely upset over Joe's death.
Which, it can be explained away as the cyborgs had effectively become a family by this stage, but it's also just as easily explained as the romantic interest there, losing a loved one.
And hell, in the latest Cyborg 009 series, the one's on Netflix, when the cyborgs are supposedly given a chance to become human again, 003's first thought is to look at 009 and tell him, do you realize what this could mean for us? Now, that could obviously be construed as us, as in the whole team, but it can also be seen as, you know, the two of them.
Especially when you consider part of what being cyborgs meant for them. I've mentioned this before, but they don't age.
Yeah. Like, Cyborg 001 is, I think, the oldest out of all of them.
Yeah. Despite
You don't
being
sound
trapped
up.
in the body of an
You tell
infant,
me you want to fight.
he is,
Sound
like,
good?
significantly older than the rest of the team.
Oh yeah? Well, all right. I've got one for you right away. We're gonna throw you in there with a bunch of the other scabs. You're all gonna fight it out, and the last one standing gets to move
And
on.
also,
If you're ready.
due to the nature of their enhancements, Joe and Francois couldn't start a family if they wanted to.
Yeah, that too. I don't think any of the cyborgs were able to reproduce.
None of them.
Not even any of the later models.
Because for a weapon, that was considered an unnecessary feature. So, like, yeah, they basically could functionally live forever
Wow.
under the right circumstances.
Impressive, Slave.
Mhm.
Those were some of the toughest. You've got some fight in you, it seems.
Never
I wouldn't
aging
be
a
too
day.
excited. Here's something for the Rads. Enjoy it while you. You again?
Puts into
Back for more,
perspective
huh?
just how much hell being a cyborg actually
I
is.
wouldn't count on luck this time. You damn.
Yeah. I mean, hell. Commander Ichigo. Like, in a lot of, like, versions of his story, he is heartbroken at the fact that he is now a cyborg. In Kamen Rider the First, which came out in like 2007, I think. I don't know. There's a scene where where this little girl's about to get hit by a truck. So, you know, classic superhero thing. He runs in, grabs the girl, holds onto her tightly, puts his hand out in front of the truck. Truck hits his hand. There's an indent. The truck, like the back of the truck flies up. And a car behind it goes under. The truck falls down, crushing the car. And the little girl has to go to the hospital because Ichigo used, I'm calling him Ichigo because I can't, for the life of me, I can't remember his real name. She has to go to the hospital because Ichigo he used too much strength when he was holding her. He almost crushed her to death. And Mekumon left. Damn.
Asher says he wants to make this one good, so
Hello.
he gave you the Bear Brothers. They're a couple of mean bastards.
But
Well,
nerd
rumor
mention.
has it they're halfway
back.
to Trog as it is.
Did
I'm
you
sure
get all that?
Almost crushed her to death, yeah.
Yep. It was,
Tragic, to say the least.
yeah.
Heck, Joe had a vaguely similar moment where he's undergoing a tune-up. And that tune-up involves accelerator.
Right, you mentioned this.
Well, the accelerator flared up, and he spent, from his perspective, weeks trapped in acceleration mode.
Right, you told me about that.
What was only really a few minutes to maybe an hour or two at the most. He lived weeks to months in that time. Slowly going nuts. And trying to convince himself that he's not going insane because he would periodically see,
Not bad, Grinder, not bad.
oh, 003's moved
One
a
more
few
fight and
inches
you're
more
free.
to,
I wouldn't plan on making.
you know,
Here's a
the
shot.
right. Because she was walking
again.
when he
That's
saw her,
all, huh?
and oh, she's moved a little bit further. A little bit further.
This'll be your last fight, Scab. One more.
Eventually,
You're going
the
up against
accelerator
Ruben.
does calm
He's one of the
down,
only slaves
and they're
to win
able
in the
to
hole.
finish the
There's
tune-up.
only ever been, what, 3?
But-
I guess he got a taste for blood. But
I
unfortunately,
cannot. Like, there's another thing they address when it comes to the accelerator mode during this time. Joe is moving so fast with such vibrational force that anything he touches bursts into flames. He once tried to pick up a flyer he found blowing in the street in this little paused reality of his, and it burst into flames in his hands.
Fuck.
He sees a house on fire, and his every instinct is telling him to rush in there, grab the people, and rush out, but he knows, thanks to the flyer, that would do more harm than good. Both out of frustration and desperation,
Aren't you quite the
he
scab?
punches
Done well.
a water tower
Now she
nearby,
wishes to see you. The guards will be told.
and you can see, like, where his hand would have been, there's, like, already an explosion of water forming.
Phew. Well, I got all my
When,
crap
from
back.
Joe's perspective, the accelerator finally shuts off and he can perceive time normally again, we cut to what was going on with that fire, and yeah, that burst of water out of the tower rushes out and extinguishes part of the burning house, allowing people to escape. Nobody can figure out what happened to make the water tower burst open like that. But they're thankful nonetheless. And this is what glued me into the dark side of speedsters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the phone's doing this now. Anyways, like most people get this kind of lesson from The Flash or Quicksilver or something in the comics. I got it from a cyborg,
Keep walking.
where he didn't even get his powers by choice. Which leads us to the ultimate reason why being a cyborg in the 009 universe is a living hell. You'd be hard-pressed to find any cyborg created by Black Ghost that was created with the cyborg's consent. Even the assassins sent after the 00 cyborgs, captured and forcibly modified against their will.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, there's an arc in the manga where the assassins sent after the cyborgs are a bunch of Joe's friends from childhood.
Oh, fuck!
Hey,
Yeah.
quick draw. Look at the guns on you, huh?
was doing this kind of vile shit.
Clearly.
Did I bring up the Cyborg Mansion?
Yeah. Yeah. Fuck. Oh.
And a lot of the time, the people that they capture to turn into weapons are just good people put into the worst possible scenario. 0013.
Yup.
And oftentimes, these people are gaslit and brainwashed into thinking that they are something above humanity and should treat humanity as such. The mythology series of cyborgs.
Yeah, Black Ghost was,
Lord Asher wants a word with you.
yeah.
Awfully twitchy, ain't you?
Which, you know, when you eventually learn that the true form of Black Ghost is just a bunch of brains in a jar,
Don't think. You'd be surprised how many of us work
they
their way up.
abandoned their
The rest
humanity
are
so
just
they could in
tough
turn
from the
live
waste
forever
and
this
decided
way
to
to
join the
continue
biggest
sowing
gang.
chaos and making profits from instigating a perpetual war. Because in their mind, it's only human nature to fight, so it is therefore human nature to profit off that fighting.
Hey, if it isn't the newest edition, you hit the jackpot now, Whiz Kid. You're in Ash's army.
That goodness does not inherently exist, it's just fools deluding themselves into thinking they're better than their baser instincts.
But we're the ones who go out on raids to get that food. And we're the ones getting shot at. So don't you get all weepy for those scabs down. But I do what I can to keep us all standing upright. If you need to drop some rats, then say no more.
Black Ghost is fucked up.
Yeah, that's an understatement. They see, like, they believe humanity is inherently evil and they revel in it.
Well, if it isn't Ash's newest pet, he doesn't let many mongrels. Him and his keen eyes must see something special in you. Ha! That rules out your wit. It must be something else that makes you. Lulu will see soon enough. Oh, yeah. Oh, but aren't we all pets of our Lord? Good pets do work, find food, build weapons, and kill the unclean. Good pets get food and Lulu knows all about being good, so then go and be good.
All right, Lulu is officially Cuckoo Banana Pants.
Mm-hmm. At this point, she breathes the Kool-Aid instead of drinking it. Some of the most extreme individuals I've seen just drowned in the Kool-Aid. She developed gills to breathe it.
Interesting statue.
Keep walking, pal.
Hey,
Alright,
it isn't quick.
we are about to be hit with that moral choice.
Lord Asher will be right with you. Feel free to wait in.
So speaking of the
Got it covered.
debate of humanity's inherent nature,
Maintain some order and dispense a little justice. And I suppose you'll follow that up by raising the dead. No, but I may heal the infirm later in the week. Time permitting, of course. been an increase in chatter between slaves.
Workers.
What?
We call them workers. Helps with morale. Reminds them that they might earn their freedom someday.
Whatever we call them, they've been gathering makeshift weapons.
All right, all right. Put your guards on alert. Tell them to be on the lookout for anyone loitering too long downtown. And keep a watch on Medea at all times. Anything big happens, it's bound to go through her. Now, I've got a very important meeting with our new friend. So if anything big comes up, you use the intercom.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Behold!
it's over.
Asher,
Nice work in the hole, new
the
blood.
biggest stain on Lion's Brotherhood of Steel's record.
So that begs the
Oh!
Who are you? And what are you doing in my city? You heard right. And after a show like that, how could I refuse someone of your talents? While the rest of the world scrambles to survive, we have an army, industry, and thanks to a recent surprise, we've got no need to fear radiation. But we do have a few loose ends that still need tying.
After the raid where the Brotherhood just swooped
You
in,
know a man named
killed
Werner?
everyone they deemed too sick, and took the children to raise as their own, Asher here was left behind.
Hmm.
Whether the Brotherhood even knows that or not.
Then you know he's not to be trusted. He escaped after a failed coup, and I believe he's working with the slaves to plan a revolt. You know the slaves, and you've met Werner, so you're in a prime position to put an end to him. Do that, and I'll make you a lieutenant in my army.
Wait, does this choice matter?
So, the thing with Asher is that he genuinely believes what he's doing is helping. Yes, he's still technically keeping and working slaves, but he's doing so to rebuild the city, create an infrastructure, and eventually discover a cure for that Trog disease. This is the dark side of a savior complex.
Right. So,
As for this specific choice, I don't know.
Ah, of course. Would these plans happen to involve... Don't look so surprised. Your arrival was
Right now,
convenient.
I
If you
advise
never
take
met
the
Werner,
take the mission
sure he
and
could
talk to
make
him.
you an offer.
well,
It's okay. I get a lot of people trying to betray me. Easy enough. You could say my discovery is a miracle.
Try that middle
Isn't
one.
the type that sets slaves. Now it would do a lot more good if you were to. Don't let me keep you. Don't let me keep you. Don't let me. Damn it, I'm on my way. I suggest you forget Werner's offer. Consider mine. Stop Werner. You'll have a bright future in the pit. Don't disappoint me, new blood.
Okay, now's your opportunity. Just kill him now. Assuming you want to side with the rebels here.
I do.
And be prepared for one hell of a fight. Because you've got guards, you've got turrets. So, one thing I've learned is that you can hotkey weapons and other items to specific buttons. It's how you can quickly switch between weapon on the fly without opening your pinpoint.
Yeah. I like
You
opening
can
the
do
Pip.
that with stim hacks too.
I like opening the Pip-Boy though because it gives me a chance to breathe and think.
I found that it's, while I do also prefer the Pip-Boy mode, thing, I do also like having my stim packs hotkeyed to a button in case, they don't give you the time to go through the animation.
Fair enough.
Instant health at the press of a button. As long as you have enough stim packs. And now that you have power armor, I'd suggest using if you haven't already. Knowing my luck, I would have taken the Mentats, that would still have taken me half an hour to figure out. Well, now you're gonna have to kidnap a child.
Yep.
In the game, please do not send FBI after us.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah, in the game. In the game, I swear it's just in the game.
If we ever met someone who would do something like that, we'd probably punch their lights out.
Mm-hmm. Hey there, little Mary. You're gonna be okay.
Your funeral.
Hello.
Die, motherfucker. Fuck.
Honestly, it's a lot easier than Werner's plan.
One thing I wish you could do is also steal any research notes they might have had, because they legit were studying Marie's blood to figure out how to make a form of, vaccine for the Trog stuff. The more, if there were more notes to take with you, then it would be easier to justify this choice, as you could argue, yeah, Yeah, and now the slaves you're freeing have more information and don't have to start from square one.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's a downside of the path you're going down. The slaves will have to start from square one. It's also arguable that they won't care if Marie lives or dies.
Medea will care.
Her, I trust. Some of her companions, not as much.
Medea seems like the type of person that would like she would protect the life of that child and also kick Werner's ass if he tried to kill the baby.
Honestly, that's just as killing Werner anyway.
Should I kill him?
I don't know if it's possible to kill them both, but, like... we'll judge it in the moment when we get back to him. In fact, I should probably check on the wiki and see if there's any negative consequences for killing them both.
You don't get to run away, oh dog. No one gets to run away. Hello, Lulu. Bye, Lulu.
Werner is a dishonest opportunist who masquerades as a bit for the plight of his fellow man, conveniently skipping over the fact that as Asher's lieutenant, he was responsible for maintaining the slavery system. Kill him.
Got it. No negative consequence?
I am still researching that, but I've definitely found a reason to do it. He has a wealth of knowledge about the inner workings of the pit, including the fact that Asher City is the primary buyer for people captured by Paradise Falls slavers, and general knowledge of DC and the Brotherhood of Steel. While they display some level of cunning, Order's goals are transparent to Asher, yada yada. While Asher has a vision for kickstarting a second industrial revolution and one day abolishing the system of slavery within the pit, Warner is more concerned with placing himself at the top with none of Asher's aspirations.
Oh.
If the free labor quest is completed by siding with the slaves, Warner generally wanders downtown and can be seen making conversation with the locals. However, he can also wander outside the city limits and seems to get stuck around the bridge of train yard. He's essential in free labor.
But after free labor.
Depending on the Lone Wanderer's choice of words during the first interaction, Warner will refer to them as either hero, moneybags, or Joker for the duration of their time together. As they enter, they say that they came to help. As they either say that they came to help, or they came for the promised reward, or joke about his difficulties in dealing with the raiders. To the latter, which he is annoyed. Regardless of how their conversation starts, Warner begins to explain the pit situation to them, yada yada. Asher and Warner were involved in a violent dispute concerning the troglodyte generation contagion, and each wants the other dead. As the player is about to leave him to go to the pit for the first time, he will comment on any followers the player character has with them and say that he cannot come with. Warner will refer to Fox or Charon as whatever he is. If Punch is in the player's party, Warner will comment that some greaser will only get in the way. Sergeant RL3 will be referred to by Warner as a bucket of bolts. If Clover is with the player character, Warner will comment that he cannot have a "I'm not saying that out loud" tagging along. If Star Paladin Cross is with the player character, he will comment that a do-gooder like her might get in the way. If Bogby's with the player character, he will state that they cannot take the filthy mutt with them as he will get in the way. If Jericho is with the player character, Warner will state they do not need a burnt-out old loser tagging along.
If who is with the player?
Jericho.
Oh.
In Megaton. If one kills Asher during the free labor quest and starts a conversation with Warner wearing Asher's power armor, he might comment about it. Look sharp in that suit, pal. Glad I wasn't there with you when you're prying off old Asher, though. That smelled like a sack of dog asses. End quote. Warner sarcastically refers to the player character as hero, moneybags, or Joker in several conversations, depending on the dialogue option. We've been over this. Ramsey's entry in the Wasteland census claims that Warner had been enslaved by Ramsey's group before deactivating his collar and escaping, prompting Ramsey to employ pit raiders to hunt down and recapture him. However, neither Ramsey nor Warner make any mention of this, and Warner simply refers to Ramsey's group as a group of slavers waiting to make a sale, while also mentioning that he has spied on them. Whereas most essential non-player characters become unconscious when their health is depleted, Warner's will not. His health will instantly regenerate to its maximum.
More importantly, I hear you've stolen the cure. Mind if I see it? Of course she'll be safe. We're just going to do our own research for the cure.
Bugs,
and then
Werner may
ransom
become
you back to your
inexplicably
freedom.
hostile to the player.
You've seen how Asher
If
is
so,
treat
he
us.
cannot be
It's
killed.
far, far
The console
kinder
can be
than they
used to fix
deserve.
this glitch, yada yada.
She'll be all right, just not with me. Asher's guards are always watching me. They'd find her right away.
I see
Werner
nothing
sent me word that
about
he's hiding out in the steel yard.
what will happen
He's got
if you
everything
kill him
there to take
after
care
this
of the
quest.
cure. Take it to him and he'll get Werner. We can't keep the guards occupied.
Well, Everett's not hostile, so he gets to live. How have I gone this far without bloody mess?
I don't know, but it made sure that it's, you know, you don't get in trouble with the various Twitch and YouTube overlords.
That's true. I should not have selected it.
Then again, that's only if you want it to be monetized. I'm sure it's fine.
Alright, I have to go find Werner, and he is in the steel yard. Medea, you should really take this baby. Asher's dead. You don't gotta worry about it.
Get Werner. We can't keep the guards occupied forever.
Run for it!
Do you have a child at heart perk?
I believe I do.
Werner may be located by talking to Medea. Killing her and taking a note from her corpse, yada yada. The child at heart perk gets her to admit that the kidnapping was Werner's idea and that she didn't think about what freedom would take. Thankfully, I don't think you've actually killed her, so there's that.
Yeah, no, I let her live. Medea's nice.
Probably one of the few good people here. If the speech check or Black Widow perk is used to persuade Werner to leave, the key to the pit underground will be on the table with various scientific instruments. Because one is sided with Asher, the floodlight control computer in the underground will be gone, and will lead to a dead end. As this is also what opens the door to the Haven Courtyard. Aftermath. After completion, access is given to the ammo press. A quest is given to collect and return teddy bears to whoever's got the kid at the time. And the Lone Wanderer is able to continue collecting steel ingots for Everett. Additionally, perk Booster Shot is received, which increases radiation resistance by 10%.
Ooh.
That's if you sided with Asher.
Fuck.
I'm trying to get to the remainder of the page, but there's a bit of a lag thing going on. You're gonna have to wait moments.
That's fine.
get booster shot? I honestly don't know. Again, I need to get the page to finish loading.
Oops. We're at 2 hours and 24 minutes, but we are finishing this DLC. Oh, come on left. Welcome back.
Oh, there's multiple ways to go about this.
Move along, please.
There is.
There's siding with Warner, siding with Asher, and then there's siding with Warner, then Asher. Yeesh. Side with Warner, either kill Asher directly or wait until he is called away and steal the cure. Either way, the Wanderer will be attacked by Asher's wife and the Raiders. If his wife is killed in Haven, one will gain negative karma. After making one's way out of Haven, the Wanderer will then find a fight between slaves and raiders. Returns to Medea's quarters, where she will ask the Wanderer to show her the cure, revealing that she knew it was a baby all along. She will hand over a note advising that Warner has had everything arranged and is waiting in his hideout inside the steel yard. After speaking with him and handing over Marie, he will tell the Wanderer they must find the floodlight control and shut down the floodlights which are preventing the Trogs from attacking Uptown. Upon speaking to Warner, he will give the player character a stealth boy with the Black Widow perk. It's possible to get a few stim packs or ammunition off him as well. We don't gotta worry about that. Leave Warner's hideout and go to the underground entrance located at the opposite side of the tracks for the supply plants, either via a manhole at the very end of the train tracks, similar to the one in Paradise Falls. Okay, what the hell? Anyways, once inside, there are around 2 dozen Trogs to fight, along with the Protect Trog, which can be activated to help. Yada yada. Siding first with Warner, then with Asher. One can steal the baby without harming Sandra, kill the raiders, hop to Warner, and just refuse to go along with the second part of his plan and return the baby to Asher. A speed or Black Widow check must be passed, otherwise Warner will have to be killed. Asher's upset, but ultimately accepts what happened. The Wanderer will have the option to ask him to free the slaves, but there is no way to get him to agree. Sandra, however, will not forgive the player character for kidnapping her daughter, but will still accept to pay for toys while always having some snarky comments. I mean, fair.
Yeah.
I wouldn't exactly want to be around someone who kidnapped my kid, and even if they did bring them back going, I realized I was wrong the whole time. I'd be a little wary.
How the fuck am I supposed to get back up there?
If one decides to kill Asher and return to Medea's house, they will find Warner outside. He tells them that he will be reorganizing the city and that word should be spread out of the pit in order to get more workers down in the mill. He also advises the Wanderer that the Wanderer has earned their share of the ammo press, and that they can gather steel ingots to give them to the foreman in exchange for gear, a continuation of the millwork request. The perk Booster Shot is also given, which increases radiation resistance by 10%. Okay, no matter what, you're getting that perk.
Whew. Are you fucking asshole?
Ah, you finally made it. I've got everything ready and there are plenty of tests to run, so hurry up and put the brat in the crib.
Talking to Medea, the quest to collect and return teddy bears to her is given.
Yeah, because you would have just
Haven, however, will be locked, so any loot left inside will be inaccessible.
Welcome to the world. What's important is that the kid is here now, and we can...
The Raider vendors Friday and Harris will also be dead and killed by ex-slaves. Their keys can be found on their bodies to loot their store inventories.
That wasn't the deal, Warner. I'm having second thoughts about this.
Oh,
Since Asher is dead, the Little Wanderer can declare themselves the new leader of the pit, depending on the dialogue choices made. If they do, Warner will begin to call the player character boss. If the Lone Wanderer does not choose to become the new boss, however, Warner's dialogue implies instead that he is taking charge of the city. with what I told you earlier, that is not a good thing.
See? You're stuck on this path, pal. In fact, now comes the fun part.
To ensure the Lone Wanderer becomes a new leader, select the dialogue option. That leaves me as the new Lord of the Pit. Regardless of this, one will quickly learn from India that she does not know how Asher kept these people from tearing one another apart. Hinting that Warner's idea of freedom may have been no better than leaving them under the organized iron fist of Asher in the first place.
Their kind is to destroy their home and salt the fucking earth. Give Uptown back to the tribes. Simple. The only thing keeping them out of Uptown are those floodlights. Shut off Uptown's lights.
See what I mean when I say this whole freaking thing is morally complex?
My advice, keep running till you're in downtown. Now, you can get to the power plant from a manhole down in the steel yard. Head down there. And here, take this. You'll want to stay hidden when the truck...
Like, this and Fallout 4's Far Harbor are definitely some of the better ones Bethesda's put out.
Yeah. And I thought this would be the end of the thing since we killed Asher, but I guess not.
Quick, while the guards are busy, go shut off the power.
So, we're going to end it here
Remember
for
what
today.
I said about the floodlight? Right, end it here for today.
Because we're 2 hours and 34 minutes in.
Time, man. Where does it go?
Well, if I've learned anything from watching Stephen King movies, it gets eaten by a bunch of meatballs with teeth.
Oh, yeah, those are...
All right.
Dogs had a little rougher, buddy. You alright?
Yeah. It's my throat. Thank you all for watching. This has been Vegas Bear 92.
And Mikumon.
And I don't know if there's going to be a stream tomorrow because we finished Silent Hill. Webb said she wasn't feeling well.
If there is a stream tomorrow, it's likely gonna be Mario.
Yep. So, if that does happen, well, if it does happen, it'll happen.
You know, I thought of something fun we could do in the meantime. If everybody,
we should be.
If you, me, and Burb all have, like, I just realized if you, me, and Burb all have the Nintendo 64 thing on the Switch, we could just do Mario Kart 64 for a stream.
Oh shit! Yeah. And yeah, AJ, we should do a podcast. I just don't know how.
So for the love of me, if any of you suggest Mario Party, I am going to drop off the grid.
Yeah, no, no. So,
like, that shit kills friendships, and I am not in the business of killing mine.
and also Mario Party 1, in Mario Party 1, Peach is just straight evil. Ask Chat GPT how to do a podcast and the steps you need to do to make it happen. Okay. Anyway,
Then comes the important question of what the hell will we talk about?
With all that said and done, please feel free to support us in any way you wish.
Be that by engagement or money.
Mm-hmm. And
I didn't forget.
I'm not dead. He'll be stone dead in a minute.
I feel just fine.
Stay safe, stay comfy, be good to each other.
Be good to each other. Don't ever let something like the pit happen IRL.
Stay hydrated.
I know we are dangerously close to having fallout in real life, so keep your guard up.
Oh, yeah. And we'll see y'all on the next one. Alright?
Peace.
Peace.